Okay, this is the format in which I'm going to be answering my evaluation question. That is, how does my media product use, conform, or challenge the conventions of real media products? So I'm going to be talking over the top of my documentary and pointing out parts of interest and where I feel that I have either used, conformed, or challenged the conventions of a documentary. To say immediately, in regards to structure, this opening sequence is my introduction to the topic, and within this, I'll bring up a couple of facts, for example, about the attendance of different conventions such as San Diego's Comic-Con and the London's MCM Expo. And using this introduction that's interpolated with facts is typical of a documentary's structure, whereas normally it goes from intro, facts, issues, expert opinion, more facts, and conclusion. I feel like I followed that somewhat, and I'll bring up points of interest later on as they occur. But I thought that was a good place to start. So immediately here, I'm using signifiers of the anime culture, such as the games and the cosplay, immediately, which is obviously the crux of the cosplay itself. Quick introductions to, like I said, the facts and statistics of the convention itself. These shots of the convention I was hoping that it kind of shows the atmosphere and scale of the convention itself, because it was a very, very big event and it was very busy, and I kind of wanted to show that because it shows how big the audience for cosplay and conventions are, and I thought that was a good point to make, because it's not a mainstream issue. Like, the topic itself isn't you wouldn't expect it to be as popular as it is. However, obviously, I was hoping to show that to the contrary. Okay, as I'm introducing Isa, I thought it was a good way by introducing her immediately, as it starts into her interview, kind of shows that she is the main focus of it. We're following her journey through the process of making her cosplay and really engrossing herself in the culture. I was trying to use, again, the signifiers of the anime, shots of, again, Expo, because it shows obviously it shows people doing what they love doing, and you can see that, and that kind of works to its credit, because it kind of gives a very personal feel to it, which I was quite pleased with. A lot of these, I wanted to keep a lot of the shots level throughout the documentary, as you can kind of see throughout the expo footage, because it kind of gave the connotation of equality, I found. Like, I didn't want them to seem vulnerable, because that gave off the wrong impression. Like, the people who cosplay aren't necessarily weak or bullied, or there isn't anything inherently wrong with them, but neither did I want to empower them, because I didn't want to make them seem above everyone else, because that would alienate them from a mainstream audience. So I tried to keep it level. I tried to portray this sense of they're just like everyone else. It's just a hobby, it doesn't separate them from people. And I thought that was a good point to make, and that was kind of the meta meaning of the entire documentary itself, is that the people who cosplay, they're just people in the end, and it's not wrong. There's nothing bad about it. It's a healthy hobby in the end, and I was trying to show that from my use of cinematography. I feel like I remember an example of this being used in Spellbound, a documentary on American spelling bees, and you really did feel kind of like, the kids, regardless of the fact that they were incredibly intelligent and incredibly skilled at what they were doing, they were still kids. and you felt more for them because you could see that they were like everyone else. They were put under this very stressful, very, very pressure-filled environment, and you empathized with them more. So I was hoping that, I could portray that just as well through my own use of cinematography. Yeah, I really wanted to show kind of the scale and the range of things you could do at Expo, and it was, again, it shows depth, and I quite like that. Okay, here's the interviews with my subjects, Lana Nellis. I tried to keep an indirect mode of address while doing this. Sometimes it appears as if I'm using direct mode of address, but that's because their interviewer, myself, was standing rather close to the camera, which was an oversight of mine during the filming process. But yes, the indirect mode of address is quite typical of a documentary because it really does it doesn't make it seem too forced. You imagine talking to a camera, you kind of put on a face, you put on a show, and that's not natural. So I kind of I really wanted to focus on the fact that, they're just talking about it as they would to anyone else. It's not put on, they don't have to lie or, fabricate anything. They're just, they're telling you how, they enjoy what they enjoy. And in the end, I wanted to kind of keep that sense of honesty and integrity to a degree. Okay, more signifiers with the use of anime footage. I was quite fond of the fact that I still brought one up specifically because I felt like that was it gave a good point of reference. Oh yeah, something I should probably talk about here is the sound. I kind of wanted to keep the sound very light, very easygoing. I feel like that documentaries have also used that. Like Spellbound, not Spellbound. Wait, was it Spellbound? Yeah, Spellbound. What am I talking about? The music was kind of tense during a lot of the scenes, but that reflected the atmosphere. So I wanted to do the same by keeping it very, very light, very cheerful atmosphere. Because in the end, that was what it was. It wasn't there wasn't anything wrong with the way that it was. It was very, very chill. Very, despite the amount of people, which was really quite. It was confusing for me because I would have expected it to be much more hectic than it was. Yeah, this is the part where we were filming the strange looks we got in cosplay. I thought that was good. It showed a different side to it in the end, and something that every documentary uses is the idea of impartiality. So by showing both negative and positive reactions, I'm getting that sense of unbiased, and it kind of keeps it at least seeming genuine. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. Well, actually, one point I could make is my use of iconography, again, through the use of media, for the use of anime and, signifiers of anime culture, such as, Japanese designs and, stuff of that like. I kind of wanted to keep that as a common theme throughout the entire documentary because it really kind of hammers the point into you because you can tell that this is what the documentary is about. This is it. It kind of keeps you very consistent. As you know what to expect, and that way, I'm never targeting the wrong audience because anyone watching immediately knows what the documentary is going to be about, and they can decide for themselves if they like it or not, which is kind of necessary so that I don't attract the wrong type of people who then won't enjoy the documentary on principle because it's a theme that they don't enjoy. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, this was okay. So that's the end of question 1 for my media evaluation.